What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Back at it again with a little bit more of Fernbus Simulator. Now, of course, before we do get in today's video, I just want to say a massive thank you to all the new subscribers and to the people that continue to show support here on the channel. If you are new here and you do like to keep up to date with the latest news in regards to anything really sim related, from busing, trucking, you name it, then feel free to subscribe, turn that bell notification on, that way you don't miss any future live streams and updates. And of course, we do have a Discord channel, so the link will be provided in the description. But like I say, guys, without further ado, let's jump in, let's dive in, and let's see what news we actually have in regards to Fernbus coming to consoles, which is very, very soon, may I add, as I'm sure that you are all aware. Now, of course, the biggest piece of information that I can give you guys is the fact that the game for consoles has been postponed. It's supposed to come out on the 27th of February, but it has been postponed by a day, so it's not really too much of an issue. But nevertheless, an extra day, regardless of what they may have needed to do or anything like that. Let's just hope that they managed to fix what was causing the problem for the need of the extra day. But anyway, let's get started, shall we? There are still okay, yeah, that's cool, right. So let's check these people in. We'll undo the luggage. Oh, he says, right, let's check
Guten Tag.
you in.
Ich hoffe, ich bin hier richtig.
Okay.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. How's it going, Richard, man?
Hello.
How you
Bin
doing?
ich hier richtig? Vielen Dank. Grüezi. Hier ist mein Danke.
Right, let's get these all on
Grüezi.
board.
Hier ist mein Dankeschön.
So there's no wheel cam today, but I thought I'd just make a quick little stream
Hello. Vielen Dank.
and kind of go over
Grüezi. Ist Dankeschön.
the little pieces of information which we've got over the course of the last few weeks regarding the Fernbus console release. Right, let's check, make sure I can take you aboard.
Cool.
Amazing. And
Servus.
for
Das
you,
Dicke. Ciao.
anyone else?
Grüezi. Bin ich, danke sehr.
There we go. I think that's everyone on board. Close the luggage compartment. Right. So yeah, of course, guys, over the last couple of weeks there have been several different videos going over a few pieces of information, a little bit of footage from supposed console footage, and I just wanted to touch bases on that really, but jump in, have a couple of routes, stuff like that, and just generally go over it, just kind of like what you guys really think about it more than anything. But I think my main concern so far, and I don't know if anybody else has kind of picked up on it, but for the last few videos of supposed console footage, it is said press F12 for Steam screenshot in the bottom right hand corner. Now I'm not too sure whether that's like an overlay or whether they're not actually showing us console footage and it is indeed, as I suspect, PC footage. Now of course there's no real way of telling, but it definitely doesn't leave a lot of confidence in it for me anyway, the fact that it says press F12 in the bottom right hand corner for it. But yeah, I think it's just one of those little things which doesn't really help the situation, to be completely honest. Now of course they have mentioned a little bit about steering wheel support as well. That was one of the major things which kind of made me worry a little bit, because as we know, for Tourist Bus for example, there are still a handful of wheels which they said would be supported, but clearly aren't still to this date, and whether as they're going to be fixed upon in their next update is to really be seen or heard about. But as for Fernbus, he has mentioned that Thrustmaster, Logitech, some of the Hori and the Fanatec wheels are supposed to work. Now he says that they should work. So obviously if you own any of those branded wheels and you get your hands on the console release and your wheel doesn't work, then of course that's something that they have said that they are going to try and work upon. So I recommend if you have any other wheels that haven't been stated, just to mention that to them, just so that they can get some testing in, because at the end of the day we really don't want steering wheels not working. Essentially that's kind of the upside to it. Yeah. But as we say, the console release isn't too far away. And I'm very, very interested, in fact. Now, I have requested to see a little bit more of the Series S side of things. Now, I know a lot of you may not care too much for the Series S side of things, but I think it's very important for them to showcase that as well. Considering that is, it is coming out on that side of things as well. I mean, it's all well and good showing the PS5 and the Series X footage, but at the same time as it's coming out for the Series S as well, I think it's only right that they show us a little bit of the Series S footage. Because at the end of the day, if they want us to buy these games, there are a lot of Series S users out there. I think that it would be highly beneficial to kind of show us a little bit more of or should I say show us some of the Series S footage. I think that'd be beneficial for them in the long run. Good morning, Conspiracy Kitty. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in. Right, let's keep going. But yeah, overall, all in all, I really do hope that the console version of this game does well, and there's a magnitude of reasons for that. Not only are there very limited number of busing sims for console, that's primarily the reason why I want it to do well, because console side of things, there needs to be a little bit more love in that department. Just like many other sim games that I've touched upon, it'd be nice for them to make their way to consoles. So of course, you've kind of got to take what you can get at the moment when it comes to consoles. I wish that more developers would take advantage of that open market, and kind of improve upon it as best as they can. But I'm sure as time goes on that will definitely happen. But like I said before, wheel support I think is going to be one of the bigger problems, which just like Tourist Bus for example, I reckon that some of the more generic wheels are going to work, but some of the more top end expensive wheels, probably not. They have said that they've done testing on specific wheels, but he also says in the next breath that they should work, not they will work. So it's very, very clever wording involved. But I wouldn't be surprised if there are a few wheel support issues in the distant future with it. Just a little bit like Tourist Bus, to be honest.
Wurden wir gerade geblitzt?
Yeah. No game is perfect in the early doors, but at the same time it's not a new game, is it? It's a port, so there are a lot of things that are to be expected to go wrong with it. But my biggest fear, just like anybody that's really played things like Tourist Bus, is the manner and the timely manner in which they actually bring these updates out. That is crucial. I understand that people may disregard that if they do enjoy the games for what they are, but I feel that they definitely need to work on that side of things when it comes to when it comes to supporting the game and keeping the player base in the loop. You know, I think that's very, very important. That's another thing as well. I wish you could lean out of windows on this. So frustrating. But welcome in, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Bit of a spontaneous Fernbus stream, to be honest, but like I said, just wanted to go over a few things. You know, there are still a lot of red flags for me. There are still a lot of things that concern me with this. You know, especially with the F12 symbol that keeps appearing in the bottom right hand corner of the streams that they have, the videos that they put out. That is definitely something which has raised a couple of eyebrows for me, that's for sure. Yeah. And of course, there being no footage for Series S yet, which I don't know. Because of course, as we know, anybody that has the Series S, you aren't getting 60 frames, you're getting 30 frames. And what really didn't make sense to me was that a lot of people did ask, well, why isn't it coming out for the old gen consoles? And their typical response was the fact that the older generation of consoles just aren't powerful enough. But if they're bringing out for the Series S, which they claim to be the same case, why are they bringing it out for the Series S anyway? You know, for 30 frames, it's going to be a rough ride, I think.
Hello? Hier, mein Ticket. Danke sehr.
You know, like, I think we've been over this quite a lot here on... Oh, didn't read that properly. No, we've been over it quite a lot on the channel recently, but it's a general concern of mine, more than anything, because the passion and the love for the game is there. I just find it very, very frustrating on how somewhat relaxed the developers really are when it comes to, you know, pushing these updates out. You know, that's the only real thing that lets the game down. I mean, to be fair, for the PC side of it, graphically, in the rain and everything, rain always makes the game look better. No matter what game you play, you know, it definitely kind of hides those sort of rough edges. But it does look quite nice, and you know, on the higher end of the settings, it doesn't play too badly either. But I think when it comes to the console side of it, I just hope that there's nothing that's really substituted, you know, or taken away, just like what we saw with Tourist Bus. You know, because of course there are elements to it that will have to be somewhat dialed down for it to, you know, play as smoothly as possible. And that's why I'm concerned for the Xbox Series S, because it doesn't have... I mean, it's a perfectly capable machine, don't get me wrong, but I don't think these developers have really sort of taken the time and taken advantage of that console's power. So I think it's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride for Series S users, unfortunately. You'll have to let me know down in the comments section below if you're a Series S user and you're anticipating buying this game. You know, I hope that they do give out some form of like early access or something, just so you can showcase it off. But I don't think they are very hot on doing that for a multitude of reasons. It could be the fact that maybe the game's just not living up to scratch and they don't want people to kind of get it out of the gate early doors to inform people so that people don't buy it. That could be a reason. But then in the same breath, they are a small company, and you know, they may not do the more traditional things that other developers do. So it's, you know, we can't compare them to other people. But what we can do is we can assess the information that we have and assess it to the experience that we've all experienced before with previous games. I think that is the only way that we can really sort of take a step forward, to be honest. I'm a bit 50-50, I must admit, because I genuinely feel that what we're seeing is not console footage. I believe that it's PC footage, and the only reason why I say that is because being a PC player myself, and obviously playing the game myself, I tend to notice where the frame rate drops, and where all the little quirks and where all the little sort of fuzziness is on the PC side of it. So when I actually watch back their videos, you know, I definitely see some similarities. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but generally speaking, when it comes to this developer, seeing similarities, you know, we're copy and pasting through different buses, you know, and the characteristics of the way that some of the buses handle, and some of the bugs that you experience, you know, in some of the buses too, where they transitioned from one game to the next, it definitely rings alarm bells, you know, and that's sort of a general concern for me, you know, especially when I'm seeing all this stuff being showcased on the supposed Unreal 5 console version of the game. And you know, if those issues are still predominant and you can still see those issues in comparison to the PC side of it, then it doesn't really look too good from my perspective. Yeah, I can understand for some people they can neglect and look past that, and I'm not saying that it is a bad game. I'm just saying that some of the things which us PC players were hoping to be fixed are still being shown in the console versions of the Unreal Engine 5, if that makes any sense to anyone. It's supposed to be new, it's supposed to be updated, it's supposed to be polished up and fixed, but a lot of the things are still lingering around, and yeah, it's a bit of a hard one to sort of digest, to be honest, because I want to see the positive side of it, I want to see the potential of it, but at the same time it's kind of hard to look past those little niggly bits when you notice them anyway. But yeah, to see a little bit more of you know, Series S gameplay, that would be fantastic. I will try and showcase some of the Series S gameplay on the channel. I'll see if I can sort something out to help you guys out. But I think for the most part we're just gonna have to sit and wait, really. Sit and wait and see what we get. As for force feedback, there's another matter as well which I wanted to touch upon. Now, of course, the Taurus Bus PC version, you can adjust the force feedback. Fernbus on the PC version, you can do the same. But for the console version of Taurus Bus, it's not an option. So I am very curious as to whether that's going to be the case for the console side of it as well. Probably is going to be the case, which is a shame. But there are a lot of, there are a lot of settings which don't make it through the console porting process, which is a shame. But ideally, you know, I want to see the wheel support working. I mean, can you really call it wheel support? Because I guess it's just bog standard wheel support in its smallest form, isn't it? I guess because you don't have all those settings in order to change anything. It's just one preset, and you've got to kind of deal with that, you know. So I'm wondering whether that's going to be the case for this console port too. Be very interesting to see. Very interesting to see. Yeah. But as for the game and for what it holds, you know, of course, console players are getting all the DLC for free as well, so that's a sweetener, I think. But I mean, generally, as time goes on, I'm sure that there's going to be a few bugs that pop up. There's bound to be. I just hope that it's bugs which should have been ironed out a long time ago. You know, it's not like they haven't had the time to sort this out. Yeah. And I really wish that they would fix the current game that they have before releasing any more. That is one thing I really want to see them do. Instead of producing more and more console ports and more games, I want them to get the games that they already have to a playable, functioning state. You know, Taurus Bus is a prime example of that. How's it going, Rocky? Welcome in, man. The benchmark will be what the new patch is like for On the Road. If that is okay, then who knows? Well, I have seen a lot of footage for this supposed update for On the Road, and the outcome of that does not look promising at all. If it's anything in comparison, then you know, we're in for a bit of a rocky road, I think. But of course, you know, there's a lot of elements which come into a game, and it's not so much just the bussing and the driving. You know, eventually we do want to see some additional buses and additional, you know, areas, different countries to drive in. You know, it's definitely going to be a nice step in the right direction if they do this promptly, and they do actually engage with people and listen. One of my biggest frustrations, in fact, with this developer is how relaxed they are, and how they communicate with people. You know, it's something which kind of gets under my skin a little bit, because these are genuine questions that people are asking. You know, genuine questions that people are asking, and they're being dismissed and kind of joked about in a way. And for me, that's another giant red flag based on what we've seen so far, especially with the reputation of certain individuals. It definitely doesn't help smoothen out that experience for people that, you know, maybe have never bought a game like this before, and, you know, they're contemplating buying it. They really want to know, you know. And I think it's very important to not be misleading when it comes to it. But I'm still convinced that what we're seeing as supposed console footage is indeed PC footage. Fabian did the same thing before with On the Road. I know that it's two different developers, and I know that it's two different games, but the same wording, the same lingo, the same sort of things that are coming out of his mouth are things that a lot of us have all heard before. You know, and with On the Road, for example, it was promised to be something spectacular. Console, you know, trucking simulator coming to console, you know, and then when the game actually hit, it looked nothing like what the video showed. So let's just hope that it is what we're seeing. You know, hopefully indeed it is console footage that we're seeing, not PC stuff, because there are a lot of things which, like I say, a lot of things that I do tend to question. So we just have to be really, really careful. Because from what I'm showing now and what I'm playing now, it looks very close to what I've seen in their latest video. I deliberately put it in rain at the highest possible graphical settings I could, with lots of traffic and stuff like that, just so that you guys can get sort of a side-by-side comparison. Because I can assure you, if you was to put this video and the latest video that they've uploaded side by side, you'll notice where the frame rate drops, and you'll also notice where the graphical settings seem to dip and improve as you go in and out of different places. But for the sake of the console side of it, I'm really, really glad to see that more developers are actually doing console ports. Whether they're not coming across very well or not, the sort of idea and the technology behind it, the fact that these consoles are capable now of holding games which we never thought would make it to consoles like ever, and now we're getting information and things are actually starting to happen. So it's looking very, very promising for consoles. You know, very, very promising. It's actually going to be extremely exciting to see where it goes. You know, somebody did mention something in the comments section on one of my videos not so long ago, actually, and it did make me think a little bit. And it was to do with the fact that, you know, they weren't proud to admit it, but it's the best thing that you have on console to date when it comes to busing simulation. And, you know, it's easy for somebody with a PC to criticize something and, you know, compare it to something, you know, when you know, maybe the software isn't quite up to standard, and be overly critical. I've just realised I went for a red light. But even so, being a console player myself, just going back and forth and trying to sort of you know, sort of sympathise in a way but be constructive at the same time, it's hard. It's definitely difficult. But I honestly don't think that the console version and the PC version are going to be too different, to be honest. I just hope that it holds up and it gets updated regularly. Those are the only two real sort of concerns that I have. Well, will support, frequent updates, and stability through the game. You know, that they are very important. You know, subjectively, everything else can come afterwards. You know, if they decide to bring out new countries or new buses, whatever the case may be. But if there are significant issues which are wrong, I at least expect them to, like I've said, update them in a timely manner where we've kind of got to not have to beg for just the simplest of updates. And what I mean by that, a few examples. You know, I mean, we've got Tourist Bus. You know, for the console side of it, you know, Xbox still haven't got their luggage update. You know what I mean? And there's not really been much information about that either, which is, you know, which is not exactly reassuring. Sure. Yeah. But that's it for me, in a nutshell.
Sie wollen bestimmt mein Ticket sehen. Auf geht's.
Grüezi, bitte sehr. Danke sehr. Mahlzeit. Ist das Dankeschön.
Hello.
You'll have to let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you actually think.
Hello? Ist das gut? Dankeschön.
Because I'm trying to come at it from a non-biased side of it,
Vielen Dank.
because I want it to do well, but at the same time I'm also aware of the sort of general concerns which I have personally with this developer.
Dankeschön.
Grüezi, bitte sehr. Danke sehr.
Grüezi. Dankeschön.
Hallo, bitte sehr. Dankeschön.
Hallo, mein Ticket.
Oh, invalid.
Leid, aber Sie fahren ja gar nicht in meine Richtung.
Right, let's close that down. I appreciate that, Rocky. Appreciate that, man. You know, I've always said, like, graphics don't always make everything. Of course, it adds to the immersion, it does add to the overall atmosphere. It makes it more enjoyable to drive buses, trucks or whatever around, you know, your favourite places, your favourite destinations. But it's a lot of clockwork. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not just how the game looks visually, but of course how the AI behave, how the buses handle, and whether we get some nice accessibility options like wheel support and you know, and the function of force feedback and some other settings to kind of tailor how we want our busing experience to be. Make it more user friendly. Now, there's no denying that there are issues wrong with this game and with Tourist Bus. They're not bad games, but I think, like I've said before, a lot of people get my passion confused with hate. It's just heavy criticism, because it hurts my soul so much when I'm sat here playing a game which I really want to do well and for people to enjoy for what it is, but then the updates don't come as frequent, and there's things that aren't in place, and the updates take months and months and months to be produced, you know, and it tends to be excuse after excuse or lie after lie, and it generally doesn't get us anywhere, because where I've said the developer is so laid back, you can't seem to get a serious, let alone a constructive response from them, because they feel that
Hey, das war ein
just
Blitzer.
butchering and heavily criticising the game for what it is, you know. And of course, if we pay with our hard-earned money, they have to expect some level of criticism from the game. You can't just get personal and shoot people down because, you know, they're speaking out of turn about something that you're getting paid to say. You know, it's different. How's it going, Christina? Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Chug, 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 chug along. Yeah, probably Richard. Probably Richard. I mean, like you say, there's supposed to be an update for On the Road, you know, the end of January. I mean, we've only got like 3 or 4 days left, like you said, so the chances are potentially. But either way, from the latest video that I actually seen about On the Road, it does not look impressive at all. And the fact that they screwed up as well, claiming that it was a console version of the game they were showing, when in actual fact, if you look close enough, they do mess up, and you can clearly see that it is the PC version that they are playing, which is a massive L for that game. I can't get over it enough, to be honest with you. And I hope, like I say, I hope that is not the case with this game as well. But I don't know, I'm a bit 50-50 on it. I'm a bit skeptical. I am very much convinced that it is the PC side of it, but you know how it is. We don't know until we get our hands on it at the end of the day. But it is comical. Oh.
Jetzt habe ich meinen Kaffee verschüttet.
Oh, you spilt your coffee, my bad. Yeah, if any of you guys are wondering why there's no wheel cam today, I haven't managed to actually get that set up. I've had so much stuff to do, so I'm actually playing with a mouse and keyboard at the moment. And I have to say, it's not too bad, but it's not desirable. You know, I think these games are definitely play better with a steering wheel. Which I hope that, you know, like they've said, Thrustmaster, Logitech, Hori and some of the Fanatec wheels are supposed to work. He hasn't said 100% that they're going to work, but they should work. And the word should is being thrown around an awful lot, so it doesn't help the situation. If I have any information on that fact, I may even put a little chart together or something for you guys, so if you do have a wheel, you can kind of look at it and, you know, go off of that, see if it works, see if it doesn't. I'll see what information I can sort of get. About 8 to 9 months we last had an update for On the Road. Shockingly amazing. It's even longer, Richard, for the PC. It's been a very long time since the PC has actually had an update for On the Road as well. And that was one of the things which I mentioned, was the fact that, you know, because there's been no PC update or any word of a PC update for On the Road in a very long time, that's where the idea that nothing was going to happen for the console side of it, because usually PC tend to get the updates first due to obviously publishing hoops that they have to jump through. You know, they haven't got to deal with Microsoft or Sony. Which is another thing. You know, I hope that this game doesn't get treated the same way that Tourist Bus has, and I do hope that this game doesn't overshadow Tourist Bus, because, you know, this game is definitely taking the limelight. You know, it's definitely taking that experience over Tourist Bus and putting it into what have I done there? Oh, there we go. It's definitely putting Tourist Bus through the meat grinder in a sense. But of course, if you are late to the stream and you didn't hear before, this game has been postponed, but only for an extra day. So I'm guessing that they've ran into maybe an issue. I would say probably to do with the publishing side of it. I can't see it being anything to do with somewhat development, because 24 hours I don't think you can really sort of iron anything out if it's catastrophic anyway. So I think there's been some form of hiccup with either Microsoft or Sony in that regard. I think that's probably the main reason for it being delayed. But like I say, guys, if you are interested in this sort of content, please consider subscribing. Quite a vast majority of you that watch actually aren't subscribed, so you know, it definitely helps the channel out. You know, so if you could subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. And if you're feeling generous, a cheeky like wouldn't go amiss. Oh, coming to a complete crawl. I'm having flashbacks. But generally busing, you know, this is what I'm saying, you know, for an overall busing simulator, if we take out the nitty-gritty critiques that we have about it and the sort of questions and concerns that we have, in a nutshell, as a foundation, it is a pretty solid game. But there is a lot of work still to be done. You know, if we want this tailored, sort of almost an authentic experience when it comes to busing, then there has to be a few things which need to be changed and improved upon massively. But I will try and push as much as I can to get some Series S footage. That is something that I do want to see, but I have a feeling that they're dodging that element of things for the moment. And you know, we can all imagine as to why, but that is something which I really do want to see. So I'm going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing to try and get some form of footage or information around that, because you know, that is kind of like part of the problem at the moment, I feel, is that they're showing the game off in all of its glory, you know, and making it look as best as it can, which is my suspicions for it being PC footage. So it'd definitely be nice for them to be a little bit more transparent and just say, look, here you go, here's the Series S footage, make of it what you will. You know, and then people can make a general sort of informed, educated decision. I think that would help out a lot. But the problem is, by doing that and allowing the customer to make that educated decision, it also means that Fabian and TML don't make that little bit of extra cash. You know, we've got to be very careful in that regard, because they are very crafty at what they do. You know, but it's just one of those things, I suppose. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know down in the comments section what you think, what your thoughts are. Let me know if you're going to buy it, and that's the main thing. But in the Discord channel as well, I am going to be doing some giveaways, and Fernbus will be one of those giveaways. Now, of course, I did a giveaway before over a live stream in the channel, and I didn't think it was very fair. It worked, but I didn't think it was very fair. So I will be announcing the entry details and everything like that, and the things that you have to do in order to, you know, be entered for the competition. But yeah, I will be giving a copy of Fernbus away. This is out of my own pocket mine. I'm not sponsored in any way, but I will be giving a copy of Fernbus away to one lucky person. You just have to obviously let me know what console or what platform you're on, and yeah, that's going to be quite exciting to kind of push out for people. Makes it a lot nicer and easier as well for those that maybe are still not too sure about this game, and you know, are struggling to compare. You know, if you've only got like £40 and you know you're struggling whether to buy this or buy another busing sim, and you win, it definitely gives you that opportunity to test it without stressing, you know. So it's the least I could do. I think it'll be... Oh man, no.
Darum soll man sich also anschneiden.
Yep, that's great advice, mate. I think you should fashion your seatbelt too. Very, very good piece of information. Oh, what have we got here? A parking bay. Okay. Light accident. I tell you what, this bus is it's going to need some maintenance along the way, I think. Absolutely.
Auch den Wald vor lauter Bäumen nicht wahr?
Do 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 do. But I really wish you could look out the window. Yeah, you just got to kind of guess
Danke.
for that, sadly. So where are we off?
Mein Nagel ist angerissen.
But yeah, I'm a bit 50-50 as well on bringing On the Road back to the channel, and that's just sheerly based on what I've seen so far. But of course, if you guys do want to see it, please, please, please let me know, because I have no problem with showing it. It's just it's got to be worth it. It's got to be justifiable for me, because the game is, you know, in a very, very poorly state. Do apologise for the driving. Not the best driving in the world, but mouse and keyboard for you. But I mean, subjectively, in the long run, if anybody is really consider buying this game, I would definitely sort of look into what you expect from a busing simulator, because there are a lot of features that could make this game so much better than what it is, and it's a shame that they're not there. And this is why I prefer the bus over Fernbus, to be honest, because of, you know, the ticket system. You know, if you was picking up actual passengers like you would do on normal bus routes, then I think this game would be completely different, or at least give us the option to do that. You know, some people do enjoy just driving the routes and, you know, point A to point B, making their own lines and all that sort of stuff. Fantastic, you know, this game is good for that. But as far as it goes in terms of how long you can, you know, keep entertained by doing that is a different story. For me especially, anybody that's kind of watched this on the channel anyway previously will kind of know that I play this game in short bursts, because I get more enjoyment out of it that way. You know, in the long run, I can't sit here and play it for hours and hours and hours, because it's just not fulfilling enough for me. You know, I play it as much as I can tolerate it, and then, you know, on to the next one, so to speak. Afternoon, Stone. Welcome in, man. Hope you're doing well. All aboard, all aboard. Can you actually read any of that? No. Alright, let's open that. This is another thing as well. I hope that the console version of this doesn't have the same luggage issue as what Tourist Bus does for the Xbox.
Dankeschön.
Ciao. Das tickt sehr freundlich.
That'd be a major kick in the teeth, that would.
Tag, ich hoffe. Ciao.
Hello, mein Ticket. Danke sehr.
Better ciao, better
Mahlzeit.
ciao,
Ist das
better
Danke.
ciao, ciao, ciao. Ugh. That's it. Don't stand behind him. I can't see ya. Right.
Mahlzeit. Mein Ticket. Danke.
There we go. Yeah, I'm not too bad, Stone. Not too bad at all. Yeah, feeling pretty positive today. Feeling a bit motivated. Traffic is definitely building up. Verde ciao, verde ciao. I can't get that song out of my head. Oh man. And they don't indicate either. That's another frustration. The AI don't indicate. So it's a guessing game. And because they're quite unpredictable at the best of times, you've got to gamble with it. I don't know if any of you guys are getting what I'm saying, but like if you play like Tourist Bus, you know, sometimes it's impossible to do a route without crashing. Yeah, and there are a lot of factors for that. There are a lot of reasons for that, but it's all gravy. Gravy. How's it going, Juan? Long time no speak. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're getting along with your PC. I am looking for a few individuals to join in on a Euro truck convoy. Oh, wrong button. Whoa. Tree.
So ein Rowdy.
What a rowdy. I don't know what he means by that. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking for a couple of people to join in on the next Euro truck stream. So of course, if you are interested in that, let me know in the Discord and we'll try and work something out. So I hear from Fabian on YouTube that the game will come with no force feedback for wheel on consoles. Yeah, this is a thing. Now I think that from the heavy critiques that have come from Tourist Bus in terms of how stiff the wheel support is, also they say the force feedback is, I think they just decided to kick it entirely. I think instead of fixing it, they just removed it. So I'm not too sure, because there are ways of removing the force feedback completely on Tourist Bus as it is, and it is extremely floaty. Like, you get no sense of the bus, no sense of weight, nothing like that. There's no sort of road feel or anything to do with that. Now, if you're going to call yourself a simulator, at least host the more simplistic options that come with most simulation games these days. Wheel support and force feedback adjustment alongside with other adjustments as well. It's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? It's something that we expect. So to us, why they've done that is maybe it's just we don't want to deal with it. We don't have to deal with it, so we'll just remove it so people don't complain.
Wieso machen wir eigentlich keine Pause?
Tends to be the common sort of attitude from this developer, sadly. Doing good, brother. Cool. I will definitely want to do a convoy. That's why I'm so glad I got a gaming PC. So much more flexibility than console. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm ecstatic for you that you've actually got yourself a PC now, you know, and you can take part in these sorts of things, you know. So I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy because I know that you've been waiting for a long time. So you can kind of experience things now at your own leisure, you know, without having to watch it through somebody's stream. You can actually do it for yourself, which is fantastic stuff. But yeah, man, like I say, if you are interested in it, and if anybody else is interested in it, get your settings set up, get yourself in the Discord, and I will let you know as soon as I possibly can when it's happening. Oh, another bit of road, look. Isn't it funny, like, how a lot of the similarities from all of their games seem to crop up? There is nothing in front... Oh, wow. Now it disappeared. Wow, that's interesting. No force feedback is a big no-no. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. These games are definitely better played with force feedback, and the fact that they've removed it completely is, I don't know, it's a tough one. That I'm sure it'll be brought up. There are a lot of people that don't do their due diligence before buying these games, and 9 times out of 10, those are the sorts of people that end up running back and complaining because it doesn't have certain features when it is clearly stated that it doesn't have them. Obviously, it should have them, but this is it. This is what we're dealing with. They charge more but give you less, which I think is just a general attitude in today's world anyway. So, I don't know. Oh, wow, we didn't need that sign anyway. Yeah, well, the AI have definitely leave a lot to be desired. I would say that they're more tame on Fernbus in comparison to Tourist Bus, but I think that's because of the map design and how big the maps are in compared to each other. Whereas Tourist Bus, you know, you've got those sort of dead-end, crammed sort of back roads, which tend to cause a lot of congestion. Whereas on this, you don't really see it that much because the map is so big. But a problem that I have with the map being as big as it is the fact that its variation of Europe doesn't really feel lived in. You know, it doesn't feel populated, it doesn't feel like there's an awful lot going on, and a lot of the time when you are driving around, a lot of the areas do look exactly the same. A lot of the junctions and a lot of the slip roads and turn-offs and all that sort of stuff are very, very much the same. So you kind of get a bit of a deja vu going on, you know. Like, have I been here before? Oh, these brakes on this bus.
Ich kenne Taxifahrer, die besser fahren als Sie.
She knows cab drivers that do better than I do. Wow, well you're more than happy, you're more than welcome to get out and walk, love. Find the nearest taxi rank by all means. You were right. If ATS and ETS come to consoles, I'm afraid they will be very limited, as you can only assign buttons and so forth. We'll see how they do it. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. But the thing is, with SCS, they're a little bit more creditable, so they'll find a workaround. They definitely will. You know, modding support and stuff like that. You know, it definitely needs to come. 100%. Even for this game, it needs to come. Yeah, we need meat on the bones, you know. I think the bigger concerns are things which shouldn't be concerns, you know, like just the basics of controls and the basic functionality of a game. You know, we shouldn't need to sort of beg for that. It should be just there in the first place. But of course, this developer is not very renowned for doing that. You know, Tourist Bus, prime example, we're still waiting for things to be done, you know, to this day. So let's just hope that when this game comes out and Tourist Bus gets updated, if it does get updated, of course, we can kind of gauge as to what they're planning on they're going to be doing with the game in the future. My hunch is that they're probably going to get them to somewhat of a stable, playable state to keep everybody happy, and then, you know, potentially leave it. You know, I think that's something that. Oh, what have I missed? Oh, screw it. It's only one of those police stops anyway. I don't even know what they do, to be honest. They just check your passengers, I think. But we'll see if I remember that's what they did last time. But it's alright. You know, just like Tourist Bus, you know, there's no real punishment for missing these sorts of things. It says police check failed. But apart from that, you know, they don't really do anything. I wish they did, but they don't, sadly. Stone. Oh, let's pull over a minute. Let's read that. Don't want to end up crashing again. I will not be buying this game if there'll be no force feedback. I'm going to watch a lot of videos when the game is released and see what it is in general response, but not buying it day one, that's clear. Yeah, I think that's a very smart move. Oh, I think that's a very smart move to make. Not buying it day one and just gauging as to what, you know, other people say about it. because it's definitely going to be something which is going to be heavily, it's going to be under the microscope, 100%. But it's to be expected because of the way that they've handled previous things in the past. This is what I'm saying. You know, I don't want to sit here and heavily criticise this game because it does have good potential, but it's not the game's problem, it's not the game's fault. It's the development and the communication that's letting it down. Not only this game, but of course Tourist Bus as well. We can all agree to disagree on that, but when you've got facts in front of you, you can't dismiss that, you know. Definitely something that should be improved upon. No worries, Rocky. Appreciate you coming in, man. Take it easy. Have a good day. But yeah. Right, let's pull over here. Let's pull over here. But I mean, to the sort of general conclusion from this, we're not too far away now from console release. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what they plan to do with it, and to see how it's generally accepted. So what sort of reception it gets early doors. You know, it's going to be interesting to see, nevertheless. But like I say, guys, if you do like this sort of content and you are new here, please just consider subscribing. If you are interested in joining the Discord, then feel free to do that. I will put the link in the description. But I think that's all we've got time for, guys. Like I say, just a quick little stream, quick little recap of the information that we've received as far. If you do have any questions or you want to say anything, let me know down in the comment section below. But yeah, guys, like I say, I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your evenings, or the rest of your day, evening, wherever you are. You all take it easy, stay safe, and hopefully I catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys.
Bitte schnallt euch deshalb während der gesamten Fahrt an. In den Sitztaschen vor euch findet ihr unsere Bordkarte mit weiteren Sicherheitshinweisen und Infos zu unserem Snack- und Getränkeangebot. Eine Toilette befindet sich im hinteren Einstiegsbereich.